resembles to some extent gambling agreement. The insurer betting with the insured that his house will not be burnt and giving him odds of its value against the premium. But in reality, it is not a gambling agreement. So discuss this for me, whether an insurance contract is the same as a gambling agreement. So you should be able to tell me the contrasting view about this particular topic as to whether insurance contract is the same as a gambling agreement. So you do this and then you submit same to my mail. Now, the general principle of the law of contract also applies to the contract of insurance. So because of that, a valid contract, okay, insurance is a valid contract, and if it is indeed a contract, then it must satisfy certain requirements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 requirements must be settled. Number 1, there must be an agreement between the 2 parties, or I even say 2 parties. There could be more than 2 parties. So there must be an agreement between the parties in question. And then agreement must be supported by a certain consideration. By consideration, we are talking about the premium, okay, that will be making. And then also the parties must be capable of contracting. You don't indulge in, or you don't procure insurance when you don't have the capability to pay the necessary premiums. And also, you don't go and purchase an insurance from an insurance company which is not able to compensate you in the event of eventuality. Also, the consent of the parties to the agreement must be of a free consent. When you are at the point of getting into contracts of insurance, it must be a free consent. You must not be under duress, to procure an insurance. And also, the object must not be an illegal or an immoral object. Whatever item or property that you are insuring must not be illegal or must not be immoral object. So these are general principles of contract, and it is equally applicable to the contract of insurance. So these are some of the things that you must look out for. But let us look at the governance of insurance business. If there are no laws, even when you read about, we said, wherever there is lawlessness, there is sin. So it means that if insurance or any other thing is not regulated, people will take advantage of it to cheat people and all that. So there is a governance structure for insurance business. Insurance business in Ghana is being governed by acts, certain acts, which has been dated as far back as 1989. And then, so we have the Insurance Law 1989, that's the PNDC Law 227. We also have the Insurance Law 1991 as amended, which is the PNDC Law 260. We also have the Insurance Law 1993 as amended, which is the PNDC Law 316. And we have the Insurance Act of 2006. That's Act 724. So these are the acts that has governed the insurance business in Ghana since 1989. Now, the insurance laws contain certain definitions of what constitutes an insurer and an insured. Commission payable to agents has also been enshrined in these laws. The licensing of agents who are actually given the license to operate okay, as insurance brokers, appointment of staff, registers of policies, registers of claims, powers of the controller of insurance, acquisition of surrender value by policy, actuarial reports, deposits, investment, loans, valuation of assets and liabilities, account and balance sheet, reinsurance, and any other thing which is pertains to insurance in Ghana has been spelled out in these laws. The Act also contains provisions relating to constitution, management, and winding up of insurance policies. So all these things are there, and they do not operate on their own. These are the things that governs the operation of insurance in Ghana. Currently, we have the new Insurance Act, Act 1061, Act 1061, which was passed into law 2021, which was actually enacted to replace the old act, which is the old Insurance Act of 2006, Act 724, to bring the regulation of the insurance industry into conformity with international framework and supervisory standards, and to increase its competitiveness on the international market. So this new Insurance Act 2021 is actually new, and it conforms to international framework and other international best practices as far as insurance is concerned. Let's look at fundamental principles of insurance contracts. But there are many insurance principles, but we are going to restrict ourselves a little bit to marine insurance. So when you talk about marine insurance, there are basic 5 principles that an MTO or a freight forwarder must be able to abreast themselves with. There are more, but these 5 are very key. Now, when we talk about the utmost good faith, we also talk about indemnity, the principle of indemnity. And then we talk about the principle of insurable interest, and then causa proxima, and then we'll call it the proximate cause. So, and then as well as the principle of what? Subrogation. There are others such as the principle of mitigation of loss, and the doctrine of contribution, and all those things. So we'll be looking at these things one by one in order to help us with our role as freight forwarders. Now, when you look at the utmost good faith, we are working in an marine insurance space, okay? And what it will mean is that there is an inherent duty on both parties of the insurance to make full and frank disclosure of all material facts, okay, relating to the subject matter of the proposed insurance. And there should not be any false statement or half-truth or any silence of any material fact. And these things are being promoted by the Marine Insurance Act that that are being in operation in different countries or even in the international world. So whenever there is a non-disclosure of material fact, it may affect the parties. Okay, it may affect the parties. So sometimes a feature of this duty that we are talking about, that we say must be of full and frank disclosure. If this particular duty is breached, the affected party or the affected party would have to exercise a certain right to avoid himself from actually paying compensation if they realize that you have not disclosed certain truths. Okay. So, but of course, you need to understand what will constitute a material fact. Okay. You must understand what constitutes a material fact. So whenever you are procuring an insurance, you would be asked certain questions. Suddenly they ask you about the history of claim or history of your losses. When you are filling the insurance policy, they ask you questions relating to the value of the cargo, whether there is an overstatement or undervaluation, if that exists.